My wife said, hey, there's an article in the paper about a wind energy meeting, you want to go? And I came. I first spoke, and apparently this has been going on for a while before my involvement. And so while the committee was being asked for volunteers, I wasn't prepared at that time to raise my hand, because that was the first time I'd been here. But I did have concerns about equality and fairness, I guess, because it's clear that there are two different sides, and people have legitimate concerns. And things are there available to those that want either severe restrictions or don't want wind energy generators at all in the township, can pull model ordinances from places that have enacted ordinances similar to that. And just as a good citizen, I'm doing research on my own, and I'm hitting websites. I'm reviewing that kind of information as well, about health impacts, about people who are writing their own blog because of how things have affected them. But I'm also looking at people that have adopted ordinances that are models that I want to be informed about, so that as I discuss and as I listen, I'm doing it intelligently and not just emotionally. And so I'm going to continue to listen. I'm going to continue to speak, both in regards to a committee as well as the township board, just to make sure that we're incorporating all those things. So I'm not trying to usurp anybody's authority or take away from anybody else's work, but as an informed citizen, which I think we all should be, and those that would not want wind energy or want limitations to an extreme are doing, and I too, and I think that we need to have some guidelines, some restrictions, so that we are watching out for the benefits or the potential detriments to people that have health issues or emotional or mental health issues, which flicker or different things like that could bring into case. We need to address those in some way. I want to be able to speak intelligently about them too, and not have it be so emotional. And that's my encouragement to all of us here, that you got to take emotions out of it at some point and keep being neighborly. So I'm going to continue to be informed and to speak and to listen, and just so that I'm certainly pro wind generators, and I will eventually sign a lease. I have not done so yet, and I'm probably not going to until we get to a certain point, because I don't want to be. I want to be in a position where somebody's not forcing me to speak. I want to speak because I have the freedom to speak, and not because I've signed a lease or not signed a lease. So thank you.
Can I ask one more question before you? There's a couple of people from the wind companies are here. Is it safe to assume that you would appreciate and enjoy the equal treatment that you will receive by us having rules and regulations in place, so all of you developers have to follow the same guidelines?
I think that having rules, I'm going to agree with that completely. I think having rules in place are reasonable. We have proposed limits in Riga and Tomar that we think are reasonable and balance the rights of neighbors versus the rights of landowners to utilize their land, and that's a 1,300 20-foot setback to houses, a 45 dBA sound limit. So that allows people to have rules to go ahead and develop a project and balance the various interests. But I don't know exactly what you're asking me.
Well,
because
I guess my question is, you do not have fear of us putting regulations or rules in.
I don't have it. Rules are fine.
Okay.
But there are many people that are involved in this debate that are advocating for rules which essentially prohibit wind farms.
Because I see it, the rules are for everyone. They're to protect you as developers, to protect citizens, they're to protect our future generations. That is the main...
With or without rules in Ogden, we are going to design to those limits. If there was no rules, we would still design to those same limits which are more conservative than in many jurisdictions in Michigan and Ohio and Indiana, more conservative than limits that are in other places where wind development is happening. However, rules that prohibit the development of wind power, which is what many in this room are advocating for and on the committee, they're not helpful because they don't allow the project to go forward.
But I think the key, you had the key phrase when you said your company would like to follow certain guidelines, but there are more companies involved here than just yours. And that's where we need to focus, is to make sure everyone is treated fairly and equally.
And I think our competitors, at least, in Dewey, has advocated for limits similar to what we've advocated.
Okay, that was it.
I got one more back here. Go ahead.
I just have a question for the gentleman from next one. Has the state of Michigan proposed any sort of rules or setback regulations?
The state of Michigan has proposed setbacks and rules which are less conservative than what we've advocated for. So the limits we're advocating for would protect residents significantly more than what the state recommendations do.
Yeah, James Jonathan Bliss with Advance. Has the board had meetings similar to those that the Citizens Committee has had, where you've gotten together and compiled research? And how much research are you doing as a board, independent of the committee?
We don't have open meetings. Our regular meetings and what we call a special meeting.
Okay.
We don't have, I think we're having
We
sessions.
haven't had any information to really analyze or address it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as individual board members, I mean, I guess how much personal research have you put into the issue? Have you spoken with experts on the issue?
Yeah, I think most of all of us have attended all of the,
I've actually visited 3 wind farms, talked to residents in that area.
Okay. So I guess the question is, I mean, do you really rely on how much do you rely on the committee as opposed to?
I guess my advice, and I was at their meeting, was for them to actually go on site and visit one of those wind farms. And I think there was only one member on the 5-man board that had actually done that. So, I mean, I encourage them to do that.
Follow up on that.